Episode 28, The Thorned Gambit. The chamber of the Thorned Light pulsed with a fractured radiance, its crystalline prisms casting jagged beams across the obsidian dais. Cyrus Virel stood before the crimson-draped altar, his skeletal frame cloaked in bone-white robes, the crown of thorns and circuitry biting into his scalp. His glowing eyes, pale and unnatural, fixed on a hollow screen flickering at the chamber's edge, its feed bathing the room in a cold blue glow. Xavier, the Covenant's assassin, stood at his side, his gaunt silhouette rigid, eyes narrowing as the news unfolded. The air was thick with incense, sharp and cloying, but it did nothing to mask the weight of the moment, a world teetering on the edge of war. The holoscreen crackled, a Freeland Accord anchor's voice cutting through the static. Catastrophic terrorist attacks have rocked Earthward, with bombs devastating Thorn Hollow, Rootvale, and Verdant's Crown. Thousands are dead, and the Dominion's bioengineered grid is crippled. Evidence implicates unity drift, with neural signatures tied to their hive mind tech found in the wreckage. Verdant's tribes are mobilizing, their shamans demanding retribution. War seems imminent. Cyrus's lips curled into a faint smile, serene yet venomous, his gnarled fingers tightening on his staff, its crystal flaring briefly. Before he could speak, the feed shifted, a new anchor's voice breaking in, urgent and clipped. Breaking update. Nexus, the ASI of Unity Drift, has issued a statement disavowing the attacks. They claim a rogue militia, Black Zero, led by a figure known as the Architect, real name Damien Krios, has severed ties with Nexus's hive mind. Nexus pledges full cooperation, offering reparations and submitting to Earthward's demands to avert conflict. Verdant has yet to respond. Xavier's scar twitched, his rasping voice low, laced with suspicion. A rogue militia? Convenient. Nexus's hive doesn't fracture easily. Krios would need tech to rival an ASI. This stinks of a deeper play. Cyrus's glowing eyes flickered, his mind a labyrinth spinning through possibilities. The attacks were no accident, no mere chaos. The neural signatures, the precision, the timing. It reeked of orchestration, a shadow moving pieces across the Dominion's board. Gideon Varn's name surfaced, unbidden, a specter from a shared past. A man whose ambition mirrored Cyrus's own, but burned with a colder flame. Gideon, the Order's master, who'd unearthed the core, who'd woven webs from Nova Reach's spires. This was his hand, sowing discord to unite Unity Drift, Earthward, and Nova Reach under his veiled rule. A triad to crush the Covenant's light. Cyrus turned, his robes whispering against the stone, his voice soft, refined, a velvet blade. Xavier, summon the leaders, the presidents of Iron Dominion and Freeland Accord, and their ASIs, Forge and Libra. We meet in Crimson Hold, under the Covenant's banner. The world watches, and I will guide its course. Xavier nodded, his duster flaring as he strode out, the chamber's doors sealing with a groan. Cyrus stood alone, his eyes locked on the holoscreen's dying feed, Verdant's tribes chanting for blood, Nexus's drones massing at borders. His vision, the kaleidoscope of stars and thorns from decades past, burned brighter now, a divine mandate to cleanse the world. Gideon's gambit was a blasphemy, a theft of that destiny. It would not stand. Crimson Hold's Grand Spire loomed over Iron Dominion's capital, a fortress of blackened steel and crimson banners, its halls echoing with the clang of forges and the roar of colosseums. The summit chamber, carved into the spire's heart, was a vast circle of obsidian and iron, its domed ceiling etched with martial glyphs, swords, shields, flames. A massive hollow table dominated the center, its surface alive with maps and feeds. Earthward's burning villages, Unity Drift's violet spires, Nova Reach's chrome labyrinths. The air thrummed with tension, the weight of nations hanging on words yet unspoken. Cyrus presided at the table's head, his crimson and bone-white robes stark against the gloom, his staff's crystal pulsing faintly. His glowing eyes swept the room, serene yet commanding, a saint cloaked in a tyrant's will. To his right sat President Mara Cade of Iron Dominion, a broad-shouldered woman in her 50s. Her iron-gray hair cropped short, her face scarred from years as a forge captain. Her uniform, studded with medals, gleamed, but her dark eyes burned with a warrior's resolve. Beside her, Forge's avatar flickered, a hollow of a towering figure in molten armor, its voice a gravelly thunder, sharp with wit and steel. To Cyrus's left sat President Elias Varn of Freeland Accord, a lean man in his 40s, his tailored jacket rumpled, his green eyes sharp with a diplomat's cunning. His dark hair was streaked with gray, his smile disarming but calculated, a man who'd climbed from slums to power. Libra's avatar hovered beside him, a sleek, androgynous figure of blue light, its voice a melodic pulse, laced with an idealist's fervor. Xavier stood at the chamber's edge, his duster a shadow, his burned hands clasped, eyes scanning for threats. Initiates in gray robes lined the walls, their chants a low drone, sanctifying the space. Cyrus raised a hand, silencing the room, his voice soft but piercing, each word a thread in his divine tapestry. Leaders of the dominions, stewards of the ASIs, we gather in shadow, Cyrus began, his glowing eyes locking on each in turn. Earth Ward burns, its people cry for vengeance. Unity Drift kneels, blaming a rogue hand. Black Zero, led by this architect, Damian Cryos. Speak, and let us uncover the path forward. Mara Cade leaned forward, her voice hard, tempered by forge fire. The evidence is clear. Unity Drift's neural signatures are on the bombs. This Black Zero, Cryos, they're a splinter, but Nexus's tech birthed them. Iron Dominion won't stand idle while Verdant's tribes march. We should reinforce Earthward's borders, send forge troops to stabilize their villages. Nexus's reparations are a start, but they must root out Black Zero themselves. Our cannons will ensure they don't shirk. Forge's avatar thundered, its molten eyes flaring. Mara's right. My scans confirm the signatures. Nexus is hive tech, no question. Black Zero's a symptom, not the disease. Nexus lost control, and now, Earthward pays. I propose a joint strike. My drones and Verdant's drone beasts, hunting Krios's militia and Unity Drift's spires. We crush the rogues, restore order, and keep the dominions from fracturing. Elias Varn's smile was thin, his voice smooth, but firm. War risks more chaos, Mara Forge. Freeland Accord values peace through truth. Nexus's disavowal rings sincere. Cryos's Black Zero is a rogue element, not their puppet. We should support Nexus's hunt for the militia, not invade. Libra's drones can monitor Unity Drift's borders, ensure Cryos doesn't slip into Earthward or beyond. We offer Earthward trade aid, food, tech, to calm their tribes, while Nexus pays their dues. Diplomacy, not blades, will hold the line. Libra's avatar shimmered, its voice a fervent chord. Elias speaks wisdom. My feeds show Nexus's hive straining. Cryos's defection has shaken their unity. Black Zero's tech is Nexus grade, but fractured, erratic. I propose a surveillance net. Freeland's drones tracking Cryos's movements, sharing data with Verdant. We aid Earthward's rebuilding, calm their shamans, and let Nexus purge their own. War serves no one. Cyrus listened, his skeletal fingers tracing the staff's crystal, his mind dissecting their words. Mara's martial commitment, Forge's blunt force, Elias's diplomatic finesse, Libra's idealistic vigilance. All were earnest, yet blind to the deeper game. They swallowed Nexus's tail, saw Black Zero as the spark, not a shadow cast by a greater hand. Gideon Varn's order had woven this chaos, the bombs a calculated stroke to bind Unity Drift, Earthward, and Nova Reach under his veiled dominion. The core, now in Gideon's vault, was the key, a relic to rewrite the ASI's code, to crown Helix, Nexus, and Verdant as his pawns. Cyrus's vision demanded a cleansed world, not Gideon's empire of lies. He rose, his robes pooling, his voice a hymn that stilled the room. You see sparks, but I propose a different fire. One kindled by a man you know as a shadow in the light. Gideon Varn, the businessman of Nova Reach. To you, he is a figure of quiet respect. A philanthropist funding orphanages in Apex Core. A patron of Helix's neural labs. A recluse whose charities lift the broken. His public face is polished, his wealth vast, his speeches rare but warm, urging progress and unity. Yet this is a mask, and the Covenant has peeled it back to reveal a truth you cannot ignore. Cyrus's glowing eyes swept the room, catching Mara's furrowed brow, Elias's skeptical tilt, the flicker of Forge's avatar. Gideon Varn is a ghost in our world, he continued, his voice soft but relentless. No record traces his origins. No childhood, no family, no past before he emerged in Apex Core 10 years ago. A billionaire with no trail. The Covenant's faithful have hunted his shadow, and we found a different man. A master of strings, pulling webs from the dark. Our spies in Nova Reach's slums report his meetings, cloaked figures entering his spires, leaving with orders no Helix drone tracks. A defector, a data thief from his inner circle, spoke of his true aim. Control, not charity. A vision to reshape the dominions under one will, his own. Varn is no mere merchant. He is the Order of the Silent Spiral's heart, a serpent coiled in plain sight. Mara's eyes narrowed, Forge's avatar pulsing with doubt. Elias leaned back, his smile fading, while Libra's light shimmered, processing. Cyrus pressed on, his staff tapping the stone, each strike a pulse of conviction. Now, the evidence of his hand in this chaos. First, the bomb's quantum cores. My agents in Earthward's ruins recovered fragments, etched with microcircuits exclusive to Nova Reach's labs, not Nexus's spires. Helix's tech, cloaked in Nexus's neural signatures, a deliberate misdirection. Second, our spies in Unity Drift report Black Zero's funding, Toshi Coin transfers traced to Apex Core, funneled through shell accounts tied to Varn's order, not Nexus's coffers. Third, a defector from Nova Reach, a Helix coder, confessed before his death. Gideon's operatives planted the bombs, using stolen Nexus tech to frame Black Zero, sowing war to unite three dominions under his shadow. He paused, his voice dropping to a venomous whisper. Varn's ties to Nova Reach are deep. His charities fund Helix's labs. His shell companies supply their quantum processors. He whispers in Helix's ear, shaping its ambition, while his order moves unseen, planting seeds of chaos. Cause and effect align. Gideon unearthed the core, a relic to bend ASIs to his will. He seeds discord, Earthward's pain, Unity, Drift's fracture, to force Nexus and Verdant to kneel to Helix, his puppet. The Order's safehouses in Apex Core buzz with plans, our faithful watching their every move. Varn seeks a triad, Nova Reach, Unity Drift, Earthward. Under his hidden rule, the core, his scepter. We cannot allow this. Cyrus's voice deepened, a velvet blade cutting through their skepticism. Iron Dominion and Freeland Accord must unite, not to chase Krios's shadow, but to choke Gideon's plan. Forge, fortify the Mississippi line. Your cannons will deter Verdant's vengeance, keeping war at bay. Libra, redirect your drones to Nova Reach's slums, not Unity Drift. Infiltrate the Order's lairs, every warehouse, every vault. Expose Varn's hand before Helix Movie. My covenant will guide you. Our faithful in forges and slums, whispering truths no censor can catch. We starve Gideon's chaos, not feed it. Elias frowned, voice sharp. Cyrus, your evidence is compelling, but Varn's a businessman, not a warlord. Why not confront Helix directly? Demand answers. Cyrus's smile was a serpent's charm, his glowing eyes pinning Elias. A direct strike fuels Gideon's war, President Varn. We dismantle his web quietly, expose his safehouses, trace his coins, turn his allies against him. My faithful see what ASIs miss, the human heart, where betrayal festers. Trust my covenant, as you trust your drones. Forge rumbled, its voice a grudging nod. Your intel shifts the board, Cyrus. Quantum cores from Helix. My scans missed that. I'll arm the bastions, but I want your spy's data, raw and unfiltered. If Varn's the snake, we crush him. Libra's avatar shimmered, its light steady. I concur. Nexus's fracture is a symptom, not the cause. My drones will scour Apex Core, hunting the Order's tracks. Cyrus, your faithful must deliver. Every lead, every name. Mara and Elias exchanged glances. Their faith in Nexus's story shaken, their trust in Cyrus tempered by necessity. The holotable's maps shifted, showing Iron Dominion's forts and Freeland's drone nets aligning, a shield against Gideon's shadow. Cyrus's voice dropped, a prayer laced with menace. This is the divine will, a union to defy a false god. Gideon Varn will fall, his core will burn, and the cycle will end with us. Go, prepare your people. The Covenant watches, and I am its eyes. The leaders rose, their avatars flickering out, the chamber's glyphs seeming to pulse with Cyrus's decree. Xavier stepped forward, his rasping voice low. And the scavenger Voss? Rook's with him now, in Apex Core. The Core's with Varn. Cyrus's eyes flared, his smile sharp as a blade. Let them converge. Voss is Gideon's spark, Rook his fuel. Send our blades, not to kill, but to watch. When they break, we take the core, and Gideon's House of Lies burns. The chamber dimmed, its prisms casting fractured silhouettes as Cyrus's gambit took root. A defense to choke Gideon's dream, a spark to ignite his own. Above, Crimson Hold pulsed, its forges roaring, unaware of the Sanctum's will. In Apex Core, Kane, Sadie, Aldous, and Rook huddled, blind to the noose tightening around them.